off thing.
Oh,
Hello, and welcome to another scene in Northeast Kansas. Today, the new Slua, who's actually been in Kansas for a little bit, is going to come out of his little hidey hole. Um, there would have been rumors that um, an occult shop, which has been around for a while, is actually starting to advertise. It's called the Poisoned Pen, and it sells all manner of different little occult things and books. Um, and the owner has kind of invited people for a quote unquote grand opening, even though it's been open for quite a while.
Basically, Lucy would pester Corey about wanting to go because she does have Enigmas and Greymare and Kenning, like out the wild. Like she loves the occult stuff and is really interested in that. So when she hears on the television about this grand opening, she's like, "Oh, hey, let's go there."
and Corey wouldn't disagree because he also has a lot of Kenning and Greymare.
When you get there, it's got the usual kind of antique shop look to it. There's one large window next to the door, and it's all kind of worn down, giving it a sort of gloomy look to it. In the window, there are books and a few little things like a sign saying what time they're open and whatnot. When you go in, there's a small little bell that rings, and it seems um the room seems to be otherwise kind of deserted. It's very soft. It's almost like you've walked into a musty tomb in a way. There are old leather-bound books lining the walls, and there are bookshelves everywhere. But it still is enough space to where there are a lot of books and bookshelves, but one can walk through without, knocking anything over or having to squeeze through. You will hear singing, obviously from some sort of bird. Um, and it seems to be having a grand old time as it's just going around singing, you know what? It's singing the Chocobo song, Chocobo theme.
Oh God.
Um, Lucy hears the bird and walks after it and starts singing with it. So like you have Lucy going do 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 do.
And the bird is right along with you. You'll eventually find this a cockatiel. It's with its little gray body and white head and the really obvious red cheeks that marks it as a cockatiel. And it'll just kind of sit there on top of one of the bookshelves, and it'll stop singing and just kind of look at you.
Hello there, little guy. You have a really beautiful voice. She'll just kind of like reach over, like have her hand out very softly to see if it'll let her pat its head.
It is on top of the bookshelves, and the bookshelves are pretty tall.
Oh, never mind. Then she's looking at it and she's like, "Hello there," and she's like on her tiptoes looking up at it.
It's just a normal ass bird, so it's just gonna look at you, and it'll chirp a few times. Out from one of the many doors leading to rooms that you can only assume would be storerooms. This is a rather he's tall, but he's very thin and lanky, kind of like oh, I can't think, like a twig, pretty much like an old decrepit kind of twig. We'll just kind of walk out. He doesn't have a slouch, and he is about 6'1", but he's not very big. He is a small person. His hair is long, but he's got it tied back in a loose ribbon. That way, it's not. It's obviously keeping it out of his face, but and he's wearing pretty much what's in the picture: black slacks, black shoes, a white dress shirt, and a vest. And following out beside him is, a kind of chubby black cat. Obviously not too overweight, but it's not the thinnest cat in the world.
With perception 5, Lucy basically sees the cat. Then, since she's had enough playing with the bird, she'll walk over there and she'll be like, "Hello." Like she'll look over at Mordecai, and look over at the cat.
Mordecai will look at you and he'll give you an odd look. Also, because I forgot to mention his changeling seeming, it's very obvious this dude is a Slua. He's got small, little, very tired, sunken-in eyes. Yeah, basically stereotypical Slua. Because I kind of forgot their description entirely. Hold on, let me look it up. Okay. Well, yeah, I already got the slender. He's very pale, of course. In his face aiming, his lips are entirely black, and his eyes are, kind of small and sunken in, tired looking. And kind of smells like a grave. A little bit. Because apparently Slua have the scent of the grave lingers about them at all times. So yeah.
Oddly enough, Lucy basically won't really care about like the scent of the grave or anything like that. She'll just be like smiling happily over at Mordecai.
I'll be kind of taken aback at Mordecai's face aiming, but I'll kind of compose myself and say, "Hello there. We came for the opening of the shop, the grand opening of the shop."
Hello, it is good to see you both. Did I startle you, sir? He says in, a very quiet whisper that I can't do all too well.
Just I haven't seen another Slua in the city, so your appearance is a little shocking.
Lucy will joke. She'll be like, "Well, maybe it's because the Slua don't want to show themselves. They are pretty secretive." And she puts this finger up.
He'll smile softly, say, yes, most of us do tend to stay in our homes. We don't come out often.
It's a nice little shop you have here.
Thank you. I have been here for a year or so now, working on building up my collection.
By the way, Lucy will kind of look around the shop. Is there anything that will like really catch her eye with her perception 5?
I mean, there are books, and then there are little trinkets and shit.
Okay. So probably nothing like too insane, just usual like occult shop stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Like, nothing in the room seems to resonate, treasures or anything, because if he had any, he'd keep those in the fucking back, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I would understand that, like... Your pets are really cool. I love them all. And she looks over the cat. "Hey, kitty kitty."
The cat will just lay down on the ground and flop over. It's like pet. It's very obvious.
What are their names?
Starts petting it.
The The cat is Farcifer, and I'm assuming you heard the one playing that song, and that is Cecil.
Cecil and Furcifer. I like Cecil, and Furcifer is so adorable. And she starts like giving him all the scratches.
Lucifer. Oh, wow. You're the second person I didn't expect to have a sense of humor.
He will just kind of smile and say, indeed, the cat likes to knock over my things occasionally, so I thought that would be an apt name. Then again, if you ever read the Bible, Lucifer is not entirely bad. He did kill a significantly less portion of people than God himself did. But that is neither here nor there at this current discussion.
Well, I don't really know a whole lot about all that, but cats are usually pretty rebellious.
People say they're rude and mean and the like, but what they don't understand is those people are usually dog people, and they read a cat's body language differently. A dog showing you its stomach is clearly wanting belly rubs, but when a cat shows you its stomach, it trusts you. You can touch it once or twice, but it is best not to ruin that sort of trust. And then,
Lucy will stop petting it, and she'll be like, "Well, I don't want to give you too much lovin's because I'm pretty sure that you'll get up a little upset with me." And she smiles like softly over at the cat.
no, you can continue to pet him. He doesn't mind for the most time. Or for the most part, I should say.
She then gets down and starts petting him some more. You don't have to tell me twice.
Well, how rude am I? I am Aurelius Mordrake.
I am Corey, and that is my adoptive daughter, Lucy.
Yes, my name is Lucy Roscoe.
His eyes, which were very bright and attentive, they kind of darken at the mention of, the adopted daughter and everything. And he gets even quieter than he was before. And then he seems to shake himself out of it, though it's not actually like literally shaking himself out of it. He'll just kind of blink, smile softly again, and say, "It's a pleasure to meet the both of you."
Lucy will smile really big and she'll say, "Well, it's nice to meet you too. I mean, well, you can take my word for that, but if you don't, I understand that too."
If you can understand and stand to be around Puka for long periods of time, you can learn so much. It just takes time. You should never discount what anyone says.
I find that you just have to roll with the punches, so to speak.
In a way, yes. But another way to do it is to simply not ask them direct questions. Dance around the question, and if they're smart enough, they'll realize and tell you, if they are so wanting to do so.
That's true too.
I'm flustered when people ask me a direct question.
There's no need for that.
Lucy just kind of looks at herself and she's like, "There may be no need, but it's just kind of there."
Indeed. You must have a significant amount of trouble with other changelings in the city, I assume.
In all honesty, no. Not really. There's a couple.
Lucy kind of looks at you when you say no. She just kind of gives you like, no.
There's a couple bad apples here and there, but for the most part, many changelings have taken well to Lucy.
There's one.
Oh, really? And who might this be?
Well, Lucy, as you held his title, why don't you go ahead and tell?
Well, I never actually held his title, but Traore Apollunid, the wise Merlin. Ooh. She does this big huffy chest and like dances around.
As for Corey, he just gets like a half smile on his face watching Lucy.
To me, he's a little stuck up, and he adopted me, but he always informed me of how much of a burden I was, made me feel like I wasn't important, made me feel like I was worthless. And then his assistant would even say things about how she wanted to take me to the shed and shoot me with a shotgun.
So I am going through the actual process of adopting Lucy, as her parents seem to be missing.
Difficult thing to do, adopt a child. I hope it goes smoothly for you.
Well, let's just say I've fully found a nice taste in alcohol that I enjoy. It hasn't been a pleasant experience.
His gaze darkens once again, and he looks for a brief moment, or at least to Lucy with that perk 5. He does look a little angry, but it vanishes soon enough. And he'll say, of course. It must be so hard on you helping a child out. How unfortunate. I hope the alcohol sits well in your stomach.
I try not to drink around her, but after dealing with a day in government buildings and dealing with those banal people.
You make it sound like such a burden.
Lucy kind of bites her lip a little bit.
She is not the burden. Though the process is. I just wish these things were a little bit easier. It's not like adopting a pet. You have to cross all the T's and dot all the I's, and
I don't think you quite understand my meaning. Children are perceptive, should I say. Talking about how hard it is on you to go through something like an adoption could possibly make the child feel like they are being a burden to you, which no child should ever have to feel like. So please, stop your prattling.
of course, I didn't think about that.
No one ever does, until it's too late.
Too true.
Lucy's kind of like tugging on her shirt a little bit and like kind of is smiling at both of them. It's okay. And then she looks down a little bit and she's like, and besides, I guess raising me could be considered like raising a pet. She pulls out her ears. Like, she has kind of like a sad look.
Corey will get just a flustered look on his face, and he'll kneel down next to Lucy and say, "That's not what I meant at all."
Yeah. Lucy can definitely tell Mordecai has given Corey some side eye at this point.
Just being a parent is very interesting. I am learning quite a bit.
Trust me, I understand.
And then Lucy smiles and she says, "Well, hopefully you'll be able to be as great as you guys." She's like, "And Mordecai, you seem so dignified and awesome."
It's a very sad chuckle that he gives. Doesn't seem like he was meaning to make it sad. He's a Slua. You could probably just, everything about them is kind of down and eerie and shit like that.
Yeah. I think Lucy would be able to pick up on that with knowing a little bit.
Yeah. Like, it wouldn't be too terribly hard to get.
Lucy kind of like makes her way over to the crystal section.
I'll follow.
Yeah, I mean, they're just crystals and everything. It's obviously just kind of, they're just like, it's got, the hole, and this does this, and this crystal does this, and that one does that. It pretty much tourist trap kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That one would find in the cult shop.
Lucy chuckles. She's like, "Well, these definitely aren't as interesting as Dross."
Certainly not. But unfortunately, everything in this world cannot be so brilliant and sparkly and glorious as that. Banality, even a little bit, must be in our lives.
Lucy smiles, and she's like, "Well, I also hope to eventually make banality a little bit more bearable and people won't be undone. I know sometimes I can help a little bit with my voice." Out of character awakening for one, like spring one.
Mm-hmm. I'll nod and say, of course, of that I have no doubt.
Oh, Lucy's good. Lucy here is pretty good at singing.
I heard.
She's blushing. She's like, "I'm not that great." And I was about to put it down. Lucy then kind of runs her hands down the tarot cards. "I think I eventually want to learn soothsay."
Well, if you ever wish to learn, I would be more than willing to teach you.
"Really?" And she kind of looks over at you, and her eyes are sparkling a little bit.
Indeed. I'm not too good at it, but I know a little. Though I am
Well,
to study it.
She smiles and she's like, "Well, at least you know it more than me." She kind of looks down. She's like, "I have a total of 0 knowledge in soothsay." She does like this 0.
Speaking of which, we were actually speaking of such an art yesterday. Lucy and I met with an Arcadian she that wanted to go into the dreaming.
Out of character, I don't think you would be able to tell that she was Arcadian. You would just probably just say she.
Okay, so we met with a she that wants to go into the dreaming and try and find Lucy's mother. And she suggested that we employ somebody with soothsay to at least find out even a little bit about what we're about to jump into.
I see. Well, when you are all ready and wanting to do that, let me know. And then he'll look down to Lucy and he'll say, as for not knowing anything about soothsay, don't be discouraged. Everyone begins in ignorance.
As Mordecai says that, Willow will kind of slowly be creeping into the store. She kind of opens the shop and sees Lucy and Corey and just says, "Oh, didn't expect to see you two here."
Willa! And she kind of runs over and gives Willa a hug.
Yeah, when Willa enters, a little bell will tingle, or tinkle? Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know,
Right.
something like that. Because he does not like people just sneaking into his place.
Well, she's not. I just meant creeping, isn't she? She's just
Yeah.
walking slowly.
I understand, but he's still got the bell there, just kind of in general thing.
For sure.
It's very clearly in a cult shop. It's got it. It's very obviously a Slua's hangout.
Yeah.
It's dusty, or no, actually, it's not dusty, but it's got that pleasant, like when you walk into an antique shop or an old bookstore. It's kind of got that old leather-bound book smell everywhere.
And that what do you
I
call
kind
it?
of would imagine. I kind of would imagine it would like have that smell of like mothballs.
Probably not mothballs. But what
Well,
were you saying, Adam?
What do you call that stuff? It's not kerosene, but it's tincture that you put over wood to make it clean and smell nice.
Varnish?
Yeah, the varnish.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
how I'm right.
There's probably a little bit of that too. And there are bookshelves reaching all the way up to the ceiling with leather-bound books. There's, ladders so that he can get up to the books. And it's got books, and mingled among the shelves with the books are like little occult objects, just like talismans and stuff. They don't really do much. It's very obvious that it's just there for like tourists and people who, don't really know about that stuff, who want to just buy it to look cool and show it off to their
Right.
friends.
Definitely get a lot of Wicker girls coming in.
Oh, hella.
Excuse me. But you hug Lucy and say, "Hey, buddy, how are you?"
Well, I'm not bad.
That's good. Better not bad than anything else, right? She just smiles, and she'll just kind of nod to Corey and say, and she'll look to Mordecai and just say, "Hello."
Oh, it is good to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you too. This your store?
Indeed, it is. I am Aurelius Mordrake. A pleasure to meet you.
Lucy will smile and she'll be like, I didn't know if you knew, but Willa is a Slua kinfolk.
You mean Canaan deer?
Or, yeah, that one.
I think you might be mixing that up with something else, but...
I mean, or she'll say, no, that one.
She'll kind of snap her fingers and like kind of point a finger at you and wink at the same time. But yeah, I just came in here to browse. What kind of books do you sell here? I'm guessing just a lot of occult stuff. As she just kind of takes a look around.
Yes. They are mostly occult things and occult topics and such. Some of the books by Aleister Crowley and whatnot.
Oh, I've been thinking about reading those, but I hear they can be quite the big rabbit holes, huh?
As most things are.
Lucy is kind of like bouncing a little bit, and she's like, "Guess what?
What? She looked to Lucy.
Well, you know how we were trying to find somebody with soothsay, and I wanted to learn it?
Hmm.
Mordecai knows soothsay."
Really? Right.
He's called himself Aurelius Mordrake, not
Oh,
Mordecai
oh.
Dogberry.
Aurelius.
Aurelius.
She'll probably say Ari then.
What's the name of the store, by the way?
The poison pen.
The Poisoned Pin.
The poison pen, yep.
Whoa. Okay.
What can I say? It's run by a Slua.
So, what does his Famine look like?
He's actually rather tall. He's about 6'1", but he is incredibly thin and stick-like.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's got more like cartilage rather than bone with the way he kind of moves around the shop. Like most Slua, his lips are black, and he's got very, very sunken in, tired-looking eyes. And his clothes are kind of old and ornate-ish. Like they're black slacks, a white dress shirt, black shoes, and a kind of vest. Like in the picture, his hair is long, black, and kind of tied back in a loose ribbon to just kind of keep it out of his face. And there's a light scent of the grave around him, because apparently that's Slua.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. There is a kind of chubby black cat laying on the floor. And there is a cockatiel on one of the bookshelves, just kind of chirping to itself at this point.
By the way,
Gotcha.
out of character, I would also think that it's kind of like an old person smell. Like, that's...
Yeah. Well, kind of ish. Like not too much. I don't know. He looks like your stereotypical Slua.
I mean, I've been to graves before, and that doesn't necessarily smell bad.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
I would say, be like, going to a hospital, you smell like... There's a certain smell that there's around. Like,
This-
it's like that, but on a less scale.
the smell in hospitals is always bleach and other sanitary products. At least in all of the hospitals which a lot of people do kind of correlate with death anyway. So, but no, he doesn't smell like a hospital.
So yeah, Corey is actually looking around the tourist trap section of the shop, and he's looking for a wand of selenite.
so
I mean, yeah, there's probably a couple on there, like in like a little box.
So, and she'll say to Aurelius to continue the conversation, she'll say, so, you know this soothsay ability?
I do, yes. Not much, but enough to get by.
She'll nod. Well, I mean, if you're willing to help Lucy out here, that'd be much appreciated.
Of course. Though I would ask something in return, perhaps a favor.
Well, I suppose that's fair. What's the favor?
I will not let you have that favor. And I'll be looking at Willa.
Then again, you are not the one I am teaching soothsay. For everything that is given, something must be given in return. I do not give out these things freely.
Lucy,
However, I was under the impression that you would be using it, and I would not want somebody else beholden to my sorry, out of character words escape me. I wouldn't want somebody beholden to my responsibilities.
Lucy kind of looks over at Ari, and she'll say, "Well, do you know anything about spring? That's what I'm good at."
He'll kind of softly lift his finger. It's not in kind of any rude or brash manner. It's just kind of like a one moment I'll get to you. Just hold on. And he'll look to Corey and he'll say, I understand your concern. And while I am not doubting your ability as a parent at all, I do find it curious that the man who was talking about having to adopt this child was bringing them to the brink of alcoholism because of their favorite drink, and yet you believe that a favor owed to
Kim?
me by her. Yeah.
Kim, I don't mean to interrupt. I understand you're trying to play off the whispering, but your mic keeps, like, the gain is really low on your mic, so you
Okay.
keep cutting in and out. So
My bad.
You can talk normally. We'll just like say that you're whispering.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a bit hard to understand you, but
Sorry. He'll just say, oh, I lost my train of thought. Okay. When I say a favor owed to me by her, do not think that I am like others that you have possibly met. When I say a favor owed for teaching a child soothsay, that could be anything from asking them to make me a papier-mâché rabbit to perhaps telling me about their favorite book or telling me a story. I pride myself on being at least decent with children, and I certainly know better than to talk about what a burden it is to adopt them in front of their face.
He'll kind of just nod, and he'll respond with, if you ask a favor of Lucy, I wouldn't mind as much, but I would find it hard to swallow if you asked a favor of Willa.
I was not asking a favor of Willa. I never said that I was asking her a favor. I said teaching the child soothsay. In return, I would want a favor from the child, the one I have taught.
Lucy will kind of walk up to Corey and then say, "Don't worry about it, Corey. Everything is fine. You just go ahead, just calm down, okay?" And she'll kind of pull his hand and like hug him a little bit.
I'll hug Lucy back, and then I'll look back up to God damn it, what did you introduce? Aurelius? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who Lucy's been calling Ari.
Yeah. And say, well, my apologies. I was under the impression that you were asking Willa the favor.
If I were to ask Miss Willa for a favor, I would have to give something in return for that favor, but I have given her nothing or have spoken of giving her anything.
I was just simply asking what the favor would be before, we got into any kind of arrangement. That's all.
Well, the thing with favors is they're usually kept until the person needs them.
I see. And she'll kind of look, and she'll kind of have like a little bit more of a apprehensive look on her face, and she'll just kind of look down to Lucy. Well, Lucy, it's I suppose it's up to you and Corey. Otherwise, it's not really my business. And she'll kind of have a look on her face that describes someone who's, just apprehensive in general. after Aurelius said that.
Yeah, and Corey will, after the hug, get back up and start looking around the shop again, looking through the book section.
Lucy will kind of turn to Aurelius and say, "Well, Ari, if you wanted to, if you're willing to teach me soothsay, did you want to learn spring? I know it's probably not something that you would be really into." She curls her hair a little bit.
Unfortunately, spring is something I believe would not be fitting to me.
I kind of thought so.
He'll softly smile.
I'll figure out something. And then she'll kind of look over at Aurelius and say, I mean, if Traori can't finish his Frior, I guess that means I'll be a lady too. And she'll kind of look over off to the side.
Is this... It seems like something that you're, apprehensive about, Lucy.
I mean, I didn't really ask for it. I'm a little worried how people are going to treat me. I just hope he does good.
Yeah, and Corey will come back holding a book and the wand of selenite. I don't know what books you would have here, but I would assume it's a book on royalty, princesses, and all that sort of thing. And he'll kind of just hold both of them out and say, I'm ready to check out now.
He'll take them and nod. And then, just kind of walk over to this, really ancient register and charge it up. It's only about, $25.
Lucy will actually grab a pack of tarot cards and ask if Corey will buy that too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah, that would just be $30 for all of it.
Don't worry about it. Anyway. Will's just kind of... And she's just looking at Lucy expectantly for what her answer will be.
Hey, you asked her a question? My brain has stopped. What?
Basically, when you were saying... that you're gonna have to be a knight. Will asked, you seem to be apprehensive about that, and which wasn't a question. So
well, she'll basically say, well, the thing is, it kind of just happened that if he doesn't complete the Fior, I'll be in a position for 4 months that was so unexpected. I don't know. Then she kind of tugs on her shirt a little bit and she says, if that does happen, I would like to ask for help from all of you. And then she kind of looks over at Ari and she says, I mean, if you end up being my friend too, I would ask for help from you too.
She'll look to she'll look to Lucy. Sorry. She'll look over to Lucy and she'll say, "Well, are you able?" And she'll kind of ask this generally to all three of them. I'm not sure if anyone else is in the store. Sorry. That's so I'm laughing.
It's not enough fucking to pawn this, damn it.
It could be a pawn. Anyway.
Pawn.
We don't know that.
Just a fucking. Oh my god. But yeah, they're.
Yeah. Anyway, she's gonna say
nobody
clearly
else
to everyone. She's gonna say generally to everyone. Generally to everyone, she's gonna say, "Can you, if you are assigned to be a knight, do you have to be a knight, or are you forced into it?"
She kind of looks over at Willa, and then she like kicks her foot a little bit, and she says, well, yes and no." She kind of looks over at Ari and then looks back over at Willa, and she's like, well, it's like if the Baron asks you specifically to be something and you turn him down, does that look good on you?
Well, it depends on why you're making that decision and why you're turning them down. I'm sure if you made it clear, people might even respect you depending on why and how you phrase it. Although I'm not familiar with this society very much, so who knows, maybe I'm wrong.
It is very possible for her to turn down title. Anyone can. In fact, some more extraordinary people do have to turn down offers to join houses. I once knew someone who was offered to join 3 different houses after an extraordinary act that he had done. In the end, he turned them all down. It's something that happens. If you do not wish to become a lady, then you do not have to. It is a very difficult position to put a child in, and I believe the Baron would understand.
She smiles very softly, and then she's like,
At which point, Corey will just kneel down with the tarot cards, the Selenite wand, and the book, Princess's Royalty, and etc., and say, well, no matter what happens, you'll be my little princess. And I'll hand them to Lucy.
she looks at the wand, looks at the tarot cards, and she's like, oh, so the one was for me?
Mm-hmm.
She's smiling.
We'll smiling too. And she'll like give a nod to everyone as, she just kind of starts browsing and looking through some of the books that are around here.
Lucy kind of runs her finger down the wand, and she's like, maybe I can see if somebody can make this a treasure, because I think this would be I think it's very important to me now. And she smiles really happily over at Corey.
Yeah. And he'll stand back up and turn to Ari and say, you're right about what you've said, but by the same token, I don't know how to be a parent, and I'm trying my best. So think of me what you will, but I will, no matter what, try my best to be her guardian in any form.
He nods.
Sounds like you'll be a good parent, Corey.
Lucy has a very slight smile, and she's like, well, I hope so.
As do I.
And she'll kind of pop her head around the corner of where one of the shelves are. And she'll look to Aurelius and say, weird question. Do you have anything on the weather? Or storms? And what they might mean? Listen, there's been a lot of, I don't know.
He'll kind of softly smile and say, sure, give me one moment. And he'll walk into a back room. A little time later, he'll come back with a book and hand it to her. It's basically on cloud formations and how to understand Because I can't think of the word now, but I know there's a person. It's like something Mancy that reads and divines shit by the clouds and stuff. But that's basically what the book is about. And like what different weather formations and patterns and stuff mean.
I mean, okay. And she'll kind of take a look and skim through a couple pages and say thank you.
Lucy will look over at Ari and she'll say, Ari, do you have anything about changeling houses? I was really interested in that. I've been hearing a lot of people from different houses, and I want to learn more about them.
I would have to check. Let me see. And he'll go back to the back room. And also, because I was a little sidetracked, you're talking about the different changeling houses, right?
Yes.
By the way, when she receives the book from you, Kim, she just gives you a nod and finds a chair and starts flipping through.
Okay. Yeah, there is a very cozy, comfortable nook, with kind of like a plush, old leather couch that's super comfortable, and probably like some bean bags and like a plant or two, with very good lighting because it is a reading nook. Oh shit! I just cut the hell out of myself. Sorry. And he'll return a little bit later with it's not a very large book. It actually doesn't really seem to be a book at all. It looks like just some notes that he's written down. And it's very curt. Because I don't exactly know exactly how much this bitch got. Because I haven't talked with Sean about it. But which is kind of like curt descriptions about each of the different houses. They are in alphabetical order. Everything is in alphabetical order, except for House Baylor. House Baylor is at the bottom of the list, out of order. And actually, let me see, because I know there's a page in the Changeling book that actually gives really curt descriptions about the different houses. And I'll give you that page once I find it, if I find it. Aha. Page 50 to 51. And that's basically what he's got written on this piece of paper.
Okay, 251 on the Changeling book?
Just page 50 and 51 in the C20 book, yeah. Except for, of course, Baylor is all the way at the bottom.
Okay, Lucy will sit down and be reading.
Well, is there... I would hate to be a bad host. Is there anything anyone would like to eat or drink, perhaps?
Do you have any water?
Of
She'll
course.
just go, that'd be great, thank you.
And he'll walk into the back, and he'll bring out a water bottle. It's sealed and everything. And I'll hand it to her.
She'll smile and, you know, grab the bottle and give you kind of a gesture of thanks. She, the camera slides over to her and she kind of looks at you and says, one last thing, I honestly haven't gotten a chance to read anything about, and she'll kind of look over to Corey, Lucy, and yourself and say about us. Do you have any general stuff on that? Things I could read through? Because I still seem to be very lost when people are talking about things.
Of course. Though, everything I give you on the changelings, and this goes for you too, Miss Lucy, I would like back. In fact, I would like if it does not leave this shop.
That's fine.
They
Oh.
are notes that I've taken myself. So
Oh, I wouldn't take this out. And she smiles softly.
I understand. If that's what you wish, that's fine. It's pretty cozy here anyway.
thank you. One moment. And he'll walk into the back, come back out. This time it is actually a book. It's not a big book. And he'll hand it to you. It doesn't have anything on the front. It's just a plain leather-bound book with like some ornate, I don't want to say embroidery, but like calligraphy and shit, just depicting different pictures and whatnot.
Okay.
And inside, it's, it was obviously handwritten. It's got basically the kiths that you can find in the C20 book, and it's got, you know, descriptions for that's basically what it is. I'll give you that, but it does have different drawings of each different kith and like how they look individually, like several different examples of how they might look. There's like 3 pictures of different drawn boggins. There's, you know, etc., etc.
She kind of like skims through. Awesome. This will be a nice refresher. Some of the speeches that Sir Traori gave were a little bit, they were very long. It's nice to have something to read.
I've heard a little bit about this Sir Traori. What else has he done?
Perhaps you can paint him in a better light than me.
She'll look and say, well, I know that one of his, it's not necessarily something he did, but his bartender decided to get a very esoteric drink out and gave it to everyone, even though he didn't know what it did. He seems to be other than that, I don't necessarily have anything to knock him for. He just seems to be a little bit head in the clouds. Or at least, I don't know, ego in the clouds. I'm not sure what to call it, but I don't have anything against him, personally.
Okay. He'll nod. Well, perhaps I will meet him sooner or later.
She'll nod.
And hopefully he leaves a better impression than he did with me.
Perhaps. Does he have a habit of being unsavory towards us? And he'll kind of mean us in like the commoner way.
In all honesty, I think it's... In all honesty, I don't know.
I see.
There's just been a lot of, at least from my end, there have been a lot of rumblings about him, so he's a topic of conversation, it seems.
I've been a little sour with him since he called one of my friends out in the bar, in his bar.
Why did he do that?
He accused her of stealing a clock.
Is this Cece?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she... Out of character, did Cece tell Willow about this?
If Cece was, or blah, 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 if Willow was ever like talking with Cece as she was cooking,
Probably.
she probably just, because when Cece cooks, she just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. So she was probably just, she probably would have heard Cece ramble and kind of just talk grumpily about all of that.
She'll just kind of smirk and say, I remember hearing about that from her.
He's not a nice man.
And he also seems to insist that Lucy is some sort of goblin. And
Lucy pouts a little bit.
I don't know what that means. Apparently it's some kind of other dreaming creature. But frankly, his claim, at least for me, doesn't make any sense. And he has yet to prove it otherwise. Disprove or prove it otherwise. And then he's so insistent upon it. And yet there's this, he talks to me about how there's anything is possible, yet the idea that, Lucy, what happened to Lucy happened is impossible. So that's a weird contradiction to me, at least, but to be fair, I don't really understand. She just shrugs. And he was talking about it in front of Lucy in a very, he was saying these things right in front of her, as if her feelings didn't really matter.
Lucy is kind of tearing up a little bit, but
you okay, buddy?
She's trying to not show it.
She'll kind of pat you on the shoulder.
She's kind of looking at you and she says, "Yes, I'm fine."
I didn't mean to bring that up, pal. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's not your fault.
She'll just smile. Just let it all out, okay? You feel better. And she'll just smile.
At which point, assuming there's enough chairs, I'll pick up Lucy and sit in a chair and sit Lucy in my lap and kind of just pet between her ears.
By the way, she's still sort of reading. Like, she's just kind of tearing up because she does have Perception 5. She can listen to that.
Yeah, I figured. But yeah, Willow told you to just, let it out. Don't hold it in. It's not good for you. And she just kind of gives you a very comforting smile when she kind of pats you on the shoulder. And then she'll let Corey take over. So I guess that's why he looked too early. So that's why he's been turning me off personally a little bit.
I see. And has no one brought this up to, say, the Baron?
I believe it was. She looks to Corey. Wasn't it?
I believe it has.
A lot of things have been brought to the Baron.
Oh, I'll be right back.
And has he done nothing about them?
Right now, because of his anger towards... She kind of bites her lip a little bit and she's like, he is under a trial by Fior.
Curious. Do you know the terms of this Fior?
Yes, and then she kind of gives you this look of no.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
What was said? Just I had a phone call.
Oh, damn it. Ari asked if Lucy knew the
The terms of the Fior.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You should just kind of be keep an eye on looking at Aurelius. Well, not usually one for me personally to talk smack about someone when they're not here, but just thought we should let you know. And she'll look and kind of wave to Karina.
Lucy will look over at Ari and she'll say, do you mind if I write down notes about this? Like, she'll point at the thing that she was reading. Okay.
Feel free to do so.
Then she'll go ahead and start scribbling it down on a piece of paper she had in her purse.
Tim, when you walked in, when you opened the door, a little bell tinkled. You know, it's got the, old kind of bookstore feel to it. It's very obviously a Slua's hangout, given how the lights are kind of dimmed, except in one spot, which is obviously a reading nook. But other than that, the lights are kind of pretty dim. There are bookshelves reaching up to the ceiling with old, kind of cracked leather-bound books, though it's clear they've been taken care of. They're just old. It's got kind of like a, that old book smell to it. To anyone who really likes reading books and going into those sort of places, it's kind of really comforting. And littered on the shelves between the books are like little kind of quote-unquote tourist traps, like, little crystals that say, oh, and these do this, and this will help refocus this, and, blah, 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 blah. Very clearly, for anyone who has a little bit in a cult, very clearly just to get people to buy it to get some revenue and shit like that. And then there's everybody in the room that's hanging around there.
No need to be silent on account of me.
She'll look up from her book and just say, I don't have much to say personally. How are you doing, though?
I am doing well. And yourself?
Keeping on, keeping on.
Nice to meet you again. Oh, sorry. I should have done.
Now go ahead.
Yeah. It's nice to meet you again.
You as well, Cor. It is good to see you again as well, Lucy.
It's nice seeing you too, and she smiles really big. You mind if I give you another hug?
Or you'll just chuckle.
I am okay with this. She says like a sigh.
She puts down what she was doing, and she's pretty much finished anyways. And she'll go over to Karina and just basically give her a really big hug.
Slight discomfort, slight discomfort, slight discomfort, slight discomfort.
See, I think she's done hugging for now.
Oh, okay. That's why I asked, because I didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable.
I think you're the only person she lets hug her, so...
At this point, yes.
Well, good practice, I suppose.
I am curious. I have heard about this establishment, and there are some specific things that I'm looking for, and I may need to see the proprietor. Can you happen to direct me to them?
I kind of just
I
step
look over.
aside and, do the hand gesture.
Lucy looks over at Ari like she's staring at Ari right now.
And I gesture to Aurelius.
Yeah, I just gestures and I present, she doesn't say this, but she gestures in a way of, I present to you Aurelius.
Lucy's doing this bow, gesturing her hands while she's looking at him.
Aurelius will just look at everyone and their weird ways of pointing to him. And he'll turn back and look at Karina and say, that would be me. What do you need?
I am looking for any books that you may have on Norse. It seems like she's going to hesitate to say this next word. It seems like she's struggling. Mythology.
I see. One moment. I believe I have a few books in the back room. And he'll...
I-
My bad. Yeah. And when she's done talking, he'll incline his head and head to the back room. A little bit later, not too long, because he knows where everything is. The whole shop is pretty fucking organized. He'll walk out and hand her a really large book. It's a little dusty. And very old, and he'll hand it to her.
Excellent. And you can personally attest to its quality and accuracy.
Indeed, I can. Though I am not too knowledgeable in the ways of Norse mythology, the book seems to do very well in telling the various stories and about the gods and goddesses and everything of that. I am Aurelius Mordrake, by the way.
Karina Stormpeer.
A pleasure to meet you.
You as well. Before I forget, how much will I owe you for this book?
It's rather old. If need be, I can lend it to you as long as I get it back. Unless you would like to keep it, in which case we can talk about that, yes.
Yeah, Karina will just kind of thumb through the pages, just that way she can kind of see what's up. I'm assuming out of character, it's a pretty damn good book.
Oh yeah.
Okay. She will say, if the option presents itself, then I would like to purchase it.
He'll nod. And probably give a reasonable cost for a book that's as old and as well written as that.
She will nod and say, very well then. And she will pay for that in cash. Because do you really think Karina deals with credit cards?
No.
I mean, shit, neither does Aurelius. So,
Oh boy.
No, Willa doesn't even make enough money to have a credit card right now.
Shit.
Lucy only has tips.
Changeling, the commoner Casherinos. It should be our motley name. We all use cash.
Cash is king.
Well,
or you,
there's one person who's not a commoner in this group.
you could also join Karina's household.
y'all could join Aurelius's household.
Okay,
And I'll take that offer.
we can make that old circle though, you know.
Nobody knows he's a part of the house anyway, so it wouldn't matter. Masquerades as a commoner.
He's not slow, he looks down all the others slow.
Anywho, Aurelius here has soothsay.
Lucy smiles.
And has offered to teach. Right? teach Lucy in exchange for a favor later?
He nods his head.
She like jumps up and down. She's like, "I'm gonna tell Ari the bestest story ever."
Karina will look to Lucy and she will ask, Lucy, do you know what you are getting yourself into?
Sounds like some heavy stuff.
Not necessarily heavy, however. Bones and favors are... They should not be traded lightly. I just want you to understand the importance of what you are offering.
Lucy kind of looks over at Ari, and then she looks back, and then she's like, "Well, Ari only said that he would want like a paper mache gift or something that I can do.
So not.
I didn't think it would be anything crazy."
And I highly doubt it. And I highly doubt it will be. And she'll look to Aurelius with kind of with like a supporting smile. I don't know how to describe her smile, the way I've envisioned it, but anyway, she just kind of gives a wry smile maybe, and
He'll nod and say, I am not in the habit of asking more than what a person is able to do. I understand limits. Just I am loath to give something away for nothing.
that's totally fair. At this point, she just kind of looks between Corey and Lucy, seeing what they're gonna do.
Lucy's just smiling, and she's like, "Well, I personally think that I can do something that would make Ari proud." And she smiles. She's like, "I could either sing for him someday, I could tell him an amazing story."
I suppose that's up to Aurelius.
As for Corey, he's just reading the book he bought over Lucy's shoulder. And he's holding the wand, the deck of cards. Okay, cool.
So Aurelius will kind of incline his head and say, I must go take care of something in the back. I forgot that I had that going. Please feel free to continue to browse and read at your leisure. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you very much, Aurelius. You have a nice shop.
Thank you, Ari.
Not a problem. And he'll head to the back. And I will be back in like 30 minutes because like the shop is like right around the corner.
Okay.
Alright, sounds good.
Basically, just I gotta go. I just think that Lucy is practicing the tarot deck that she got, reading the book and everything.
Okay.
So everyone's just chilling there at this point. It's Willa, Corey, and Karina. Karina is okay. That makes this a lot easier now. Karina's going to look over to Willa, and she will just ask, Willa, I am very curious about you.
Mm-hmm. And she'll kind of close the book that she's reading. What's up?
You have a...
She'll kind of tilt her head. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tim. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Karina was actively thinking of what to say.
I got you.
She'll say you have an air about you, and I wish to know more. If you're willing to tell me, of course.
Well, all I can really ask in response to that is, what do you want to know?
More about you. Who you are. Joy.
She'll kind of tilt her head side to side and say, well, don't really remember. Well, actually, before I continue, why do you want to know?
I am just curious about you. I am curious about many people, as I believe has been evidenced.
I guess so.
I
Well,
understand the distrust, especially from one such as myself, and considering the state of affairs in the world.
well, I usually like to ask for clarification first. Usually the best way to make sure nothing is, there's no miscommunication.
She'll nod.
But no, I don't really have any problems telling you a bit about myself. I don't really remember much of my childhood. I only know that I was grew up in, what was the town called nearby Jacobstown?
Shit, I don't know, bro.
It's something Jacobstown, and I grew up there. I guess I got into a bit of not the best influence. Usually would help them get away with robberies and crimes and getaways and stuff like that by driving them out of there. Eventually, one time it went horribly wrong, and I got myself landed in the house in prison. After 15 some odd years of reading books and being bored out of my mind, I guess I'm now back to build myself back up, I suppose. And now I didn't really expect to. She kind of looks down at herself. Expect to rediscover all of this and find out that it was actually real. But I guess that's me in a nutshell. Oh crap! Hang on, guys. I accidentally locked out my mom.
So as that happens, she will Corey. I'll just assume Willa stepped away because she saw a book she was really excited about or some shit.
Yeah.
So she'll look to Corey and ask, I know that we have only met once before, but considering we may possibly, and let's be honest, probably, be risking our lives, I think it would be good to know one another.
Alrighty, I'm back.
Oh, what would you like to know?
I'm back.
Welcome back. Karina's pretty much just asking the same thing that she was asking Willa to Corey now.
Oh, gotcha.
I'd like to know just more about you. Your general background, as it were. As much as you are willing to tell me, of course. And if that is not at all, then I understand.
Well, I recently moved to Kansas after living in Ohio for a bit, and nothing really much about me. I grew up a pretty normal life. Went to school. I discovered a lot of stuff about myself when I was a young age, and it's been pretty interesting, to say the least, from there. needless to say, grade school was very interesting. But there wasn't a lot of people like me around. Um,
Changelings?
Mhm.
Do you mean changelings?
yes.
Oh, okay. She'll nod.
By the way, she would have said Junction City is her hometown.
Okay. She will continue on and say, I do have a bit of a personal question, if I may ask it.
Sure.
Why is your Feymane weak? Not your Feymane, it's faded slightly.
I don't know, to be honest with you. It could be my years of growing up alone without other changelings to interact with. It could be a whole host of things. But in all honesty, I don't know.
I don't know what condition like that means, however, I would suggest that you especially be careful of the dangers of banality.
I try. Although in this day and age, it's pretty difficult not to do anything and still be banality free.
Of course. Now, I have asked both of you to open up, and both of you have. Would you like to know me more?
Well, if you're offering,
I am.
she kind of gives you a gesture to go ahead.
She'll nod, and she'll say, I grew up in Kansas, and I was born here both times. I suppose that my childhood and my high school years were hmm, I know this may be surprising to you, but I do occasionally fashion myself a moral crusader, at least back then.
What was your crusade?
Before it was many things. Many, 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 many things. I learned from all of that, and I finally decided to do something a bit more specific. So, when I went to college, I majored in environmental science.
Interesting.
How's that worked out for you?
I enjoy it.
Good.
There is a certain simplicity about being away from the city. I don't think that we as humans or as Fae should lose. After all, we have dreamt of tundras and deserts and of endless forests.
Trees. Trees are. They're in us. You can see them everywhere. and you pick up some kind of fantasy novel. A lot of mythologies had trees as being the center of the universe and stuff like that. Just like the
Yes.
Norse.
Yes. And unfortunately, the smoke and the smog created by the industry of humanity, whilst it has created some very beautiful things, it also has choked out much of the possibility that humans believe they have.
More than one way.
She'll look enough. And she'll look over and she'll say, please do not get me wrong. I am not advocating for destroying human civilization. It is a fool's errand.
We worked pretty hard to get here. Guess we still got improvements to make.
Yes.
Don't worry, I'm pretty sure there are other prodigals who will do just that, or want to do just that. And he'll kind of just give a half wry smile.
That is...
That's unfortunate.
Cannot say that I agree with that.
I was joking, but okay.
Oh, you
I
were?
don't know of any other prodigals who would do that. I don't know. I do not know of many other types of prodigals.
Oh, you sounded so serious. Never mind then.
I know that there was quite a few instances regarding prodigals that led to the Baron's Edict. So I assume that you may have been referencing those earlier.
No. Apparently, I've only heard of this. Just, I think one of our kin violated the rules of hospitality. But then again, I don't know a whole lot about the story.
Well, it just shrugs.
I hope that we remember hospitality in the future. And this applies to all of us, not just one person.
I'm all about hospitality. In fact, those who took me in showed me quite a lot of it. So, it's an important thing.
But,
sorry, Karina, go ahead.
oh, it is fine. I know that many of you hear my voice quite often now. And she'll smile.
Well, seems like you guys are pretty good at, from my experience, you guys are pretty good at hospitality, so I don't think that's something that streak is something you guys should break.
As a clarification, when you say you guys, do you mean Cathane or she?
Cathane.
She'll nod. Like, she figured that's what she meant, but she just wanted to make sure.
Right.
Yeah.
If there are points for the she gotta absorb that praise, eh?
No, because even if, no, Full said Karina was gonna be like, no, lots of other kids do it too.
Yeah, I get you.
So, Karina, you were asking about arms and armor last night.
Yes.
Do you have a particular method of forging it or acquiring some of it? Some pieces of equipment?
Well, it could be as simple as gathering materials to trade for a craftsman to create something for us. I imagine that many chimerical smiths are not too keen on using genuine cash, though I suppose I could be wrong. I've been wrong about a great many things.
It seems that dross is what I think a lot of changelings look for.
Yes.
From what I've can tell about your society.
Yes, it is glamour that is imbued within an object.
I do have a small holding, and I would be able to pay these weaponsmiths, blacksmiths in dross.
If that's the case, then I'm sure that we can find someone that is more than able to create, at the very least, a simple sword and armor.
So I told you earlier, Karina. When I'm about, did you have any more questions? Because you said I had a certain air about me. I'm a little bit confused by that.
If I may be completely honest and drop the niceties.
I appreciate honesty, honestly.
You are Canaan, yet you have a spine amongst changelings.
She'll just look at you and just kind of do a very slow shrug.
Like she doesn't have any other way to put that.
Wait, hold on. What did you say?
She said, she told Tawilla, you are Canaan, yet you have a spine amongst changelings.
A spine?
Yes.
What is a spine? I guess I don't. You're saying I don't break easy?
Yes. I mean that you are not a groveling servant.
Is that what most Canaan typically become?
Depending on the household that you reside in, it can happen. I personally do not agree with that.
Yeah, that errs on the more questionable sides of things. I'll freely admit that. But I guess my attitude is, don't really care what you are if you're trying to make my life crappier for your benefit, then I'm not exactly on board with that. Under really any circumstances. You should have scratched the top of her forehead.
Yeah, I'm finding different parts of the Kithian society are still stuck in the Dark Ages.
Well, Dark Ages was for only one part of the world. Others still thrived. Just gotta find your means. At least that's how I've done it.
Willa, you mentioned trying to get back onto your feet after you were released.
Mm-hmm.
That you require help with.
Well, if you don't know Cece and Olaf, I believe they might be leaving town pretty soon. They've been giving me a lot of help,
I
but
think they've already left town.
I just
Yeah, with Kim coming in,
Okay.
Cece's
Yeah.
like on her own, I think.
yes, they just recently left town, but they've definitely have done a lot to help me get back to a place that's a little bit more comfortable. But and I believe the other John Visconti, he's given me a courier job, and I'm working up the ladder on that to earn some income. So things have actually been going pretty well recently.
That is good to hear. I'm glad that you are being treated well.
It was, I'll be honest, it was a shock and surprise to me, but I regardless appreciate it. she'll just smile to Corey and Karina. But since there's been a lot of respect going around in terms of my well-being, I guess if there's a helping hand needed here and there, I should be available to help out. Just
Of course.
nothing illegal, please.
I will keep that in mind.
Cool. Oops. And she'll just kind of go back and kind of nod to Karina and Corey and just go back to flipping open the Aromancy book and reading through.
Ooh, sorry, what was that? I did not catch that. I
Oh
apologize.
no, Willa just gave a nod to Karina and to Corey and just went back to reading the Aromancy book.
Okay. She will look to Corey, and she'll ask, I have heard that it is unusual for my kith to pursue the sciences. Is that true? At least from what you've seen.
Yes. But that's mostly out of necessity of not wanting to become undone, as opposed to lack of want. The sciences can be pretty unforgiving, as they tend to be wound up in the machinations of how humans think in this new world.
They absolutely can be. However, I find what I do is very filled with possibility and discovery.
Environment always changes.
Yes,
Never know when there might be a storm on the horizon or a hurricane or when erosion is happening and changing the landscape, how it affects all the different biology, all the different animals and creature that inhabits it. I've been getting into reading up on, I guess, atmospheric science and stuff like that. When I get the chance to go to the library. Welcome back, Kim.
Oh no, it's Slender Man.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to go get some stuff. But Aurelius will walk back out. His vest looks a little disheveled, and his sleeves are rolled up. As he's walking out, he's rolling the sleeves back down. He'll say, my apologies. I hope you were not too bored.
Willa would just shake her head.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. I do hope I didn't miss anything interesting.
Guess it all depends on what you find interesting.
Everything.
But yes, it's a lot.
Then do you mind catching me up?
Well, I guess myself, Karina, and Corey were getting a chance to get to know each other a little better, and we're talking about environmental sciences, which that came up because Karina asked if her kith tend to avoid the sciences.
And do they?
in my experience, generally.
Curious. Well, my apologies. I did not mean to interrupt your previous conversation. Do continue.
Interrupting. This is your space. If anything, we are interrupting you.
Not at all.
Willa chuckles at that.
This is a public space, I could say, considering it is open to the public at certain hours, so that people may freely come in and find what they need. It is not mine or anyone else's, but everyone's.
Understood then. Either way, you are not interrupting.
I'm glad to hear that.
So, you were talking about, Karina, how environmental sciences interest you? Why it doesn't seem to affect you like how others might view science?
I suppose it really comes down to whether you see science as a narrow answer to one thing, or if you see it as a range of possibilities to test and to experiment with.
It could also just be seen as something to gather information.
Yes. You have to take into account many variables, many things that could affect where you are. And it is good to know more of the place that we came from. And everyone can see Karina's getting passionate about this. She actually fucking likes this.
Well, I can tell. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the big question, eh? Where did we come from?
Some questions are better left unanswered.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't ask them. You'll never find out which truths are to be left unhidden unless you've discovered them.
Well, I say that because if they were answered, then it would really take away the mystery and the appeal of the question.
I suppose it depends on how you look at it. If the mystery keeps us from potentially more, I guess you'd say, lives with less suffering, the more and more answers we uncover and the more mysteries we solve, could be seen as a bad thing or a good thing. I think the novelty of mystery is only as good as it actually doesn't cause suffering, if that makes sense.
Right. But where we're asking, where did we come from? How will that help anybody?
Could give us an idea of more about ourselves, how our bodies and minds function, how our thinking functions. Could even open up doors to even new possibilities. We don't really know. We won't know until we put the effort in to find out.
I guess that's true, to a point.
I guess everything is. I've learned to just go at things with a little bit of tempered reason, and don't eschew too many possibilities because it might be the thing that you're looking for the whole time.
Exactly.
Oh, before I forget, I would like to say that if anyone ever needs a place to stay, my doors are always open.
No, that's good to hear, Aurelius. Thank you.
It is always good to help each other. I would not want someone to have to be without a place to stay due to unfortunate circumstances.
She'll nod.
The same goes if anyone ever needs any draws. I do have some. It is best not to be unwound simply because, or undone. Sorry, still thinking of that book I was. Should not be undone simply because they are unable to get the glamour that they need.
Yeah, the fact that when I heard about that, that's actually very sad. Hopefully, hey, hopefully you can find a way to improve that. At least around here.
He nods.
So, I think with me personally, Willa will get up, and she'll kind of just go to Aurelius and say, "I think I would like to purchase this," and she'll tap on the Aromancy book.
Of course.
And I'll return this to you because. And she'll kind of show her watch, and it's kind of, you can actually hear a little bit of a beeping. Gotta get back to things.
Of course, of course.
And she'll pay for cash the book on Aromancy, and she'll kind of look to the others and say, "Hey, it was nice talking to all of you. If you need anything, as long as it's not illegal, hit me up."
Aurelius will nod.
She'll nod to everyone and just head on out. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna be heading on out. Talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Peace.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.
So, what do you two do in your free time? I suppose I should ask. Or what your occupation is.
For a mortal occupation, I am a scientist.
Any particular category? Chemistry, botany, astronomy?
The environment.
He'll snap his fingers and say, I should have understood that. I believe you said that earlier. My apologies, my mind must be fleeting.
No, it was quite alright. As for what I do in my free time. I have to admit, I don't very much like the food here now. My chrysalis eliminated much of the enjoyment for me, so I prefer hunting for it.
Curious. Might I ask if you are a part of a house? I understand that is a silly thing to ask a she, if you don't mind me stereotyping slightly. But still, you might be in one and you might not.
I am in one, yes.
May I ask which?
House Sicilian.
I'll nod. Good choice. And you, Mr. Corey?
I actually don't work. I'm living off of stocks and stuff. My parents set up for me.
Oh my god, I wish we could fucking roll dice because we need some P&E. Dear god.
Right? Shit!
Fuck! Because Aurelius wouldn't fucking make this very blatant. God damn, y'all might see it. Oh well.
Actually, you know what? I have a good way of doing this. What is your manipulation subterfuge dice pool?
Oh shit. Oh my god, I am a
Yeah.
dumbass.
Kim, did you make a House Baylor slow without any dots and subterfuge?
Shut the fuck up, Tim.
All right.
But this is what pisses me off because I have 3 manipulation. Like I went out of my way to give him appearance 1 so I could throw that extra dot into a manipulation, and I forgot.
Also, that is not appearance 1 on that fucking face claim.
But you know what? I'm pulling a Tim.
No, because I don't fucking go appearance 1. You fucking whatever. We're not gonna go
Yeah,
there
but
right
you
now.
still do like appearance 2 and appearance 3, and then like have appearance 6 face claims. So don't even.
What the fuck? No, you need to cut that out. Anyway.
Yeah, you do.
Anyway. 3 subterfuge. Now, Corey, what is your perception empathy dice pool?
Shouldn't it be the other way around? Isn't she trying to figure out if I'm lying?
Oh no. He does not care if you're lying or not. He's okay. You know, this is it's very clear that when you say that you don't have a job and yet you're taking care of a child,
Well,
or a child.
Here's how we'll do it, since we don't have dice rolls. Whoever has a dice pool that can beat Ari's gets the info, and if you don't, then nah. Is that cool with everybody?
Okay.
So that way, like, your skill still matters in the scene.
Okay.
Anyway, Ari's hella judging Corey.
A little bit, yeah. Like it's that clear kind of it. Yeah, he's very upset upon hearing that.
Yeah, no, to be fair, Karina didn't know that either. So she's just going to kind of look at Corey and she'll say, are you simply in between things right now?
Yes, actually I am.
She nods. And she says, I will state, though, since you are in the care of a child, it is not simply you that you need to provide for at this point. So I'm willing to help as needed.
Thank you for that. I don't think I've stated this enough already, but adopting Lucy was quite unexpected on my part.
I completely understand. There are not many that would take on the obligation.
And I did so for her safety. Because she was in a she was under someone's care who did not care for her.
And then he pauses. He says, what I say is not to be mean. It is to make sure that the child is taken care of. But if you do not believe yourself to be fit, and if you do not have a job, I am willing to take care of her. I have done so before, and I simply do not wish to see a child have to be in an unfit position. I understand you have just met me, but do know that I hold no ill towards anyone, except for maybe this Traori I have been hearing of.
You know what Karina would tell she's gonna say it, she's gonna tell a joke for almost the first time. No, for like the third time. She'll just say, after Ari says that, she'll just say, record time.
Record time that someone has heard of this Traori?
And then disliked him. I mean, no offense, simply a joke. My attempt at humor. Which I understand must be very different.
It just gives you this very blank look, and then it just says, trust me, if I can get through with Slua humor, I can get through with anyone's.
Peony dice pool of 5. Is his ass smiling though?
No, he's not smiling.
Damn it. Alright.
Well, I implore you, before you make any judgments on what's been said about him, that you meet him and you develop your own opinions about him.
And I was going to. But it is rather hard to do that when a child has said that this Traori and those working under him made jokes to kill them.
Yes. It is why I, even as unfit as I am as a parent, tried to do the right thing. And protect her.
He nods.
As you found out today, I'm still learning quite a bit about being a parent, and I have to realize that she is not an adult.
He nods again.
Hey, I have an out of character question for you guys.
Yeah, sure.
people see their seemings.
What do you mean, like, can you tell whether someone's a childling, a wilder, or a grump?
Yeah.
That generally comes out in personality.
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly assuming Ari's a grump.
Yeah.
Karina, she constantly just wants to do things wilder. Childlings, you can typically find out just by their just almost not giving a fuck nature. And like they just want to have fun and like discover more things rather than go on adventures and make a name for themselves. That makes sense, brother?
Yeah, it does. Just I was asking because if you could see Corey's seeming, it would make a lot of sense as why he's so awkward.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
Because Corey's a childling. And
Yeah, no.
his mortal seeming's like 22.
It's independent from age.
Yeah.
You could be a 50, like real talk, you could be a 50-year-old like Puka and be a childling. You could also be a 12-year-old like she and be a grump.
Okay.
Like that's a thing. Like
I knew in the old system it was tied to your age.
yeah, C20 specifically shot that in the face like Old Yeller. No, mommy's my dog. I'll do it.
But yeah, I'm not quite sure if I've been playing Corey up as childling enough.
We can talk. We can hash it out after the scene.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely ways to kind of adjust that and make sure everything's all working for you.
Yeah. Because pretty much I'm trying to play it as he's this childling, but he's stuck with adult responsibilities now, quite big ones, in trying to save someone else from heartache.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, you were about to say something, Tim, before I asked that question.
Shit, I forgot. Shit, okay, I remember now. Karina's going to look over to Corey, and she is going to say, if you lack income, at the very least I can throw in a good word at to some of the people I know at my job. I will admit I don't associate with them very much because, well, I enjoy science. Scientists don't tend to be my favorite people.
That's understandable. I do have an income, but with a child, I don't think it'll be enough. As I mentioned, I've been living off the out of character. I forgot the word.
Does Corey have a trust fund? He seems like a trust fund kid.
It's pretty much trust fund, but except with money in the bank, it's stock. But either way, trust fund, stock, doesn't matter. He has an income.
Ooh, okay. That means I can do a fun thing when she hears that. She will say, a piece of advice I am offering you is, well, just me. It is good to learn self-reliance.
Yeah. Something I'm having to learn a little bit sooner than I expected, but it is good to learn nonetheless. Where do you work, by the way?
Karina will throw out some place where you can do environmental science in Kansas because Tim doesn't know immediately off the top of his head.
Probably the university.
Yeah, fuck it. She probably just work. Yeah, she may just work at the university. Shit. The university that Alexander's totally gonna burn down. Get it?
Yeah, probably the same department too.
The same department. Oh no, this is gonna be great.
God, I'm just seeing that now. They're oh well. Yeah, I'll apply there, and maybe I'll be able to attend college too.
It is never too late. I can say that much.
Yeah. Then again, I kind of just look down, kind of gesture to, my legs, the sweeping gesture of looking down, and say, I think I'll be a big hit at the parties.
She'll smile. That is something that I can almost assure you.
Too bad learning is not my passion.
Can I ask what your passion is?
Relationships. Developing them, maintaining them, working with them, and of course, all things that come with them.
Have you considered then psychology or sociology?
No, I haven't. I haven't really thought about a particular path of college for myself yet.
As I said, you don't need to decide now.
Yeah. But if I could get a job at the university, perhaps I would be able to pursue that sort of field.
Well, after all, it is just an idea. If that is your passion, that is what you want.
A lot of Sato's passions involve sex, romance. And while I understand the allure of it, that is not my entire focus. While I like a good romp in the hay from time to time, I would also like to develop the relationships and be able to continue to have these fun times.
Of course, of course. You must enjoy your youth, right?
I guess in some aspects, yes, I should enjoy my youth, but what my passion is to carry on beyond my youth, even when most staters can't get it up.
I did not think that was possible.
Who do you think invented Viagra? It's a drug that allows the parties to keep on going, you know?
Right. I suppose I never quite thought about this.
I'm just surprised I haven't seen more of my kind. More satyrs around the city. I believe I've only met one.
Are you sure you're going to the right parties then?
Actually, I haven't really been to parties since moving here.
Well, that may be your problem. She'll smile.
Well, if you know of any, I wouldn't mind joining in.
I'll see if we can't. What is the word? Get turned. Evan, we are in Kim's character's new occult bookshop. I'm sorry. You have justification for coming here.
Yeah. And like,
If you.
my bad.
Oh, sorry.
Of course, Evan comes at the wrong fucking time. Once again, I have to go. I bought the wrong size scrubs, and I need them for tonight.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, no.
Oh.
The Illuminati does not need any reason to be like, oh, let me hit up this occult bookshop. You don't need a reason.
I was gonna say, and it's cool if you have to go, Kim.
Yeah, I'll be
somebody else
back
can
in
just
like.
watch the tip.
Yeah, like I was gonna do like I did earlier and just leave the scene going. I'll be back in like 20-30 minutes because I just have to go and get like a bigger size.
Yeah, we've just been keeping the scene going.
All right then. In that case, the door will open as Triori steps inside. Boots clicking on the hardwood floor. Like assume it has a hardwood floor.
Yeah, there's a little bell that tinkles whenever you open the door.
Tinkle tinkle. He will kind of cock an eyebrow ever so slightly before he steps inside. Followed as he always is by his ever faithful shadow, who will close the door after them before he will incline his head to before he will slightly incline his head to the other she and say, good afternoon, Lady Storm.
Good afternoon, Sir Triori. I trust the day has treated you well.
Indeed, and you can imagine my amazement when I see that there is a new repository of occult lore in our humble little town. Most excellent. I find that it's always best when the young are given the opportunity to understand the different layers of reality. It makes it so their dreams become all the more sweet and potent. He will then give a vague nod to the satyr as he says, and you, Mr. Russo, I assume you are well this afternoon.
Yes, I am well.
Good. Good. Priori will walk to a bookshelf and he'll casually allow his hand to thumb down the line of books. I believe Kim told me that, the character has a cult influence, so, some of the books on the shelf will actually be, interesting books, as opposed to just, the new life section in any kind of, bookstore with, like, Wiccanism for Dummies. Believe it or not, I have seen that book. It does exist, Wiccanism for Dummies. Not special, but he will say, I see they have a copy of Tenevrier's Ethereal Manifesto. How interesting. I didn't take you for a reader, however, Miss Stormfury, he will say, not looking at them as he allows his finger to drag along the bookshelf.
Really?
I guess you learn a lot about a person in a day, right?
Oh, sorry, what was it Corey said?
I guess you learn a lot about a person in a day, right?
Yes, true that. But, yes, I am a reader. And I whilst I am not a member of the House of Sorcery, I am considered a mystic in my house.
Indeed. The Scions of the North have always been steeped in their own mysticism. That dark place filled with cold and mist that is theirs and theirs alone. For it was in the North that men first learned to fear the night and fear the winter, and it is a fear that man has kept with them ever since.
Despite our pride and words that would affirm that, there are things in the dark that are bigger and scarier than us.
Always. We must come to fear the nightmare, or else it loses its power. Humanity needs fear. Fear keeps them grounded. It keeps them... It gives them perspective.
Was there a specific form of knowledge that you were searching for today?
You see him kind of... his hand stops where it is over a book, and he says, "No, I merely wish to see. As I have said, it is never good for one to stagnate, so one must always learn. The quest is ever going." Have you made he straightens his back from the leaning posture he had, leant in to look at the bookshelf, and says, "I assume in that case you have informed Mr. Russo as to your idea for a quest that we had yesterday." It was yesterday we had that scene, wasn't it, Tim? Or was it?
Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, you
Okay.
got it. And so she'll say, considering that Corey is the caretaker of Lucy for the moment, it is only proper and the right thing to do to inform him of what will be happening with his ward. For lack of a better term, she'll look to Corey.
Triori nods, and there's a look of approval that flashes across his eyes. For you said, "What will be happening?" You spoke as a she, not what I would like to happen, which is to speak as a commoner.
yeah, there.
Get that ass, Tim. Get it?
That's insidious, man.
But yeah, he will nod and he will say, "I shall have to take the omens and read the portents before you leave. However, it will be a successful endeavor."
I would hope so as well. For the best case scenario, we hopefully rescue a Fae that is losing herself to the dreaming. As a worst case scenario, we will find closure.
Well, that is part of our duty to rescue those who require it. He turns and he looks at Corey and he says, I would ask, Mr. Russo, what is it that your ward has told you about her? And he doesn't use air quotes, but air quotes are implied in the statement. Friends.
Not much, to be honest with you. I've only seen what she's posted in the flyers she's put up.
Flyers? He quirks an eyebrow.
Yeah, she put them up. Out of character, she did put them up. It was on the Facebook page.
Okay. What were the content of the flyers? You happen to... Give me a second.
Why are you asking me all these hard questions?
Cause raisins! Let me just check the rumor thingy.
Okay. In the Barony festivals, you will see posters hanging up with a child's drawing of 4 people saying, if you see Elsmeraldo, Mikey, Gus, or my mom, Cassandra, call me at this number. I just want to find my friends, please help.
Okay. Traore will nod and he will say, yes. I see. A child posting that they've lost their mother in public is, however, somewhat problematic. We would not want to have the protocol authorities come down and ask questions.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they'll already be asking me those questions.
You kind of cut out at the end of your sentence.
I'm pretty sure they'll be asking those questions when we do the interview.
You see him stop, and he turns, and the eyebrow goes up, and he says, interview.
Yes. You know it's illegal to keep a child without being their parent or guardian?
I am aware.
So I had to apply with the Grey Police to keep her.
There was a momentary flash across the face of I'm trying to vocalize this of consternation. Consternation is a good phrase. And he says, yes, however, actually, you know what? Oh no, we don't roll dice. So I was going to say I should make a law roll to see if he would know that, but you know what? We can't roll dice.
What's your intelligence and law total?
Like 6 or 7.
Yeah, you would probably know it.
He will say, you are aware that the child, when you enter the court system, you will be required to provide documentation that you cannot possibly have.
Documentation of?
Birth, the names of the individual.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a simple case of going before a judge and having them rule the child as yours. They need to first ascertain if the child has been kidnapped, is missing, the identity of the child in question.
Yes, and that's what the interview is for. Because there is so little information of the child in question of Lucy. And they are just trying to ascertain more information to find out the identity of her. See if she is part of the system and to see what exactly is going on.
I'm going to have to ask, Tim, which is the clause in the sheet about revealing Changeling Society?
Right of ignorance.
Yeah, okay. He will say, in the... In the course of this investigation, however, information pertaining to Lucy cannot come to light. So, what will happen in the course of this interview, if her loving parents are found? They will immediately request the child be returned to them. However, the child has been irreparably changed.
Well, as for right now, would you rather her going into the foster care system?
My point is merely, why did you not seek to... what term? He kind of looks at Elizabeth, who says, falsify is the term I believe you're looking for, my lord. Yes. Why is it that you did not attempt to merely provide false documentation?
That answer is a lot easier than you expect it to be. The answer is, I don't have access to the resources or abilities, or even know of anybody that can provide accurate false resources like that.
Priori sighs very heavily again. And he will walk forward. I just have to get a name out of something. He will walk forward and he will take out a card from his pocket, or from his wallet, and he will hand it to you. I just have to grab a name from a thing on the book, because it's important. Yep, here it is. He hands you a card for Rothman and Associates, a law firm.
Okay.
And he will say, I would recommend you contact Rothman and Associates immediately. Lawyers for Kithane from House Ilunid. This could go horribly sideways, and I assure you they have the ability to either produce the documents you would require, that the courts will be tied up in litigation until Kingdom Come.
Well, thank you for that.
Oh, Kim's back.
Yes, so at this time, Aurelius will walk out, once again rolling down his sleeve cuffs. Whatever he was doing apparently required his sleeves to be rolled up. Hold on, let me catch my breath. I just got done running. Okay. And he'll walk out. He'll see the new person in his shop, and he'll go, my apologies. I must have not heard the bell. I do apologize. Is there something I can help you with?
It is quite agreeable. He will allow me to give you a formal introduction. Sir Triori Apolluda, Knight of the Barony of Festivals. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir.
The pleasure is all mine, Sir Triori. I am Aurelius Mordrake.
Was this character a knight or a squire or something, Kim?
He hasn't announced himself in any court.
Okay, no, I was wondering if you were wearing the sash or anything like that.
Nope. He looks like a commoner.
That's cool. He will say, in that case, good afternoon. In that case, good afternoon, Mr. Mordrake. May I say that you have a rather excellent collection. I am impressed.
Thank you. I've worked several years to build the shop up to where it is currently. I'm glad.
In a hangout the other day, didn't this character buy actual occult influence as a thingy?
Yes, he did.
So, there would be books here of, actual value.
He doesn't keep them in the front. He keeps them in the back. The only occult-ish books that are in the front are, just silly stuff people sell to tourists. And things like that. He keeps the real stuff in the back and doesn't tell anybody about it.
To be fair, like Karina did specifically ask, and then he went and got it.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, you gotta ask for it, but he's not just gonna be like, oh yeah, you want to check out my collection in the back? Nah. Nah.
Troyori will say, I'm rather an aficionado of art and old occult books. As a matter of fact, I've written several of them myself. I would be very interested in seeing if you have any of them. Salubrious nature.
Perhaps I do. Was there a specific title you were looking at? Or for?
He will contemplate. He will say, I would be very interested in a copy that could be acquired of. I'm just going to make up a name. The Celilium de Decanere.
An interesting choice, certainly.
As I have said, I require it to complete my my collection. I possess the collective works of the author hither to this point, and it is the one manuscript that eludes. If it could be acquired for me, I would be very grateful, and would happily pay whatever price the acquisition were to request.
Of course. Give me one moment to check in the back. It might possibly be there.
Oh, by the way, Kim, I'm assuming you have an academics above 2.
Yeah.
So
He's already heard.
Cool, now.
Yeah, because people were talking about the dude who, you know, straight up says he's the reincarnation of Merlin. When it's just an incarnation, but yeah. But it doesn't seem that he cares, though.
That's fine. No, I'm just pointing it out. Anyone who had academics 2 or above would get it, because it says you have to be familiar. So I just thought I'd point it out.
Mm-hmm. And he'll walk into the back of the shop.
But yeah. Russo, if you can contact this law firm and inform them that a member of House Ilunid sent you, they would be more than happy to accommodate you.
Okay.
As a matter of fact,
I don't know how much they'll be able to help, but I will give them a call.
they are rather interested in being helpful, I assure you. But, yes. And if you require help with their fee, Miss Elizabeth, he will say, and she steps forward and bows, kindly send the bill to us. We consider it for the good of the barony, so we'll be more than happy to aid you in this cause.
Of course.
She will then step back and bow. I must say, Miss Stormfury, or Lady Stormfury, I enjoyed our sparring session immensely yesterday.
It was certainly very educational.
What goes through his head is, yes, one day you shall learn to duck.
Dodge!
Dip, dip, dive, and dodge. Anyway.
Dodging is for losers. Fucking soak the blow and then hit them back.
I don't know, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Follow reindeer? Do you follow reindeer?
Bitch, I might.
Why, what does reindeer give as a gift? I don't actually know.
Oh, +1 stamina and -2 diff to soak if you stand your ground.
Oh, wow. That's actually amazing. Bitch, do you follow reindeer? Bitch, I might. Sorry, I just like the phrasing there. By the way, Kim, are any of your pets on display in the store, or are they not?
Yeah, I got you.
Hmm?
Sorry about that. I was getting my shoes because I gotta go in like 30 minutes because I gotta get to class. But that's like 30 minutes away. I'm just getting dressed. Yes. There is a big, kind of chubby, like not, completely obese, but he got a little tub. Black cat, or she, kind of laying on the floor. And then there is a cockatiel that has been this entire time just up on a bookshelf, just kind of singing to himself.
Question:
Okay.
Has the cockatiel's like domesticated, right?
One moment, sorry.
Okay.
I believe Tim is asking in case the bird shits on him.
No, look, if that bird tries to do that, I got sovereign in nature for his ass.
No, the bird is domestic. Like it's a cockatiel. It's not a cockatiel.
Damn. All right.
Didn't your sorcerer have a cockatoo who just hated everyone?
And yeah, I got beef for cockatoos. Motherfuckers never stop screaming. It's always like all the time. Just go, oh god, they've got the intelligence of a 3-year-old, a very angry 3-year-old.
Kim, I love your rants, but if you want to rant, do you want to end the scene?
It wasn't a little rant. It was just like an offshoot on cockatiels. Never mind. We can continue.
You was about to go. I'm sorry. I thought you was gonna go off.
No, I wasn't. I was going. These shoes look fucking. Anyway, but yeah, there's a little cockatoo, just kind of little cockatiel up in the top, just do. And then there's this fat cat just laying about on the floor.
Triori is going to go and pet the cat.
The cat's gonna look a little happy and just kind of flounder around because it's a big cat.
Is the cockatiel still singing the Chocobo song?
No, it's probably switched to something else.
All of a sudden, you just hear from above you.
You know what? Yeah, you fucking do. You know what? He makes that sound. No, he makes that sound every time Aurelius completes a purchase with somebody. Like every time he puts the money in the cash register, the little cockatoo just goes do 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 do. But no, it's like just doing. Okay, have you ever seen the videos of Chuckles the cockatiel, where the cockatiel is just basically and all it does is like beat?
Yes.
That's what it's doing.
Okay. So Triori will, without looking away from the cat, ask the proprietor, and what is this little fellow's name?
The cat is Farcifer, and the cockatiel is Cecil.
Okay, Kim, does the name Farcifer mean anything?
Farcifer? No. Like, Aurelius just kind of was like, this cat is a little bitch occasionally, but it's made of fur, so I'm gonna combine fur and Lucifer. Also, somebody named their pet cockatiel that in a group I'm in. I'm like, that's a pretty bitchin' name. So,
Triori will stand from petting the cat, and he will say, "If you will excuse me, however, gentlemen, and my lady, it has been a pleasure to enjoy your company. However, I am required elsewhere. See."
Okay.
He will, pet the cat one last time.
and Aurelius will kind of show the book that he was asking for. Just kind of, show it to him. And say,
Excellent.
Is this it?
That is indeed the copy. What would you like for it?
He'll give a decent price for a book like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Triori will not. Will walk over and write you a check for the amount you stipulated.
And when he, puts the cash in and completes the transaction, the little bird, starts doing his little jam.
Okay. Awesome.
Well,
In
I
that
do
case,
hope
he
you
will
have a pleasant evening, Sir Triori. I would like to speak to you at a later date. I've heard wonderful things.
I have no doubt that they've been greatly exaggerated. However, he will extend his hand to shake yours.
I'll take it.
I look forward to the possibility of working together. Mr.
Certainly.
Mordred.
And he'll incline his head.
And Triori will say, Miss Stonefury, we were wondering if you would care to join us for dinner at some point this week. Or Lady Stonefury, rather.
We?
Yes, my household and I.
She considers it and says, I am open to such a meeting.
Wonderful. I shall have Elizabeth contact you with the details, as I try not to use phones as much as it is humanly possible.
Oh, what was it you said? Sorry.
He said he'll have Elizabeth contact you as he tries not to use phones as often as possible.
Okay. Rena will say, entirely understandable. And then looks over to Elizabeth and nods.
Elizabeth will step forward, bow very deeply to the other sheet, and hand a business card that contains her number and the number that Triori can be reached on, etc. She will also hand one to Mr. Mordred because he seems so imminently helpful.
Hmm.
I'll take it. And he'll actually give a business card of his own.
She will tuck it into her. She has a small case for cards, and she'll put it in there. By the way, just before I leave, Kim, I don't take it that your Baylor deformity is visible, no?
It is not.
Cool. I just said I'd ask. All right. In that case, Triori will bow once again deeply before leaving the room because Evan has to go and do another changeling scene for Hong Kong.
Yay!
So, it might be an open scene, Tim, if you want to see, me get immolated by a dragon dog.
We'll see how it goes.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
See ya.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and call the scene since you're going to have to leave, Kim?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, players, for playing. Viewers for viewing. This has been another scene in Kansas. Have a good one.